In this video, I'm going to be discussing the potential death of the 5 points of articulation 3.75-inch Star Wars figures. Hey there, Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bosk's Bounty video. Now, this is going to be a slightly different video today because I haven't actually got anything new to show you as such, although I did just break the news of the Luke Skywalker Yavin fatigues on the Vintage Collection card on Instagram last night. That was interesting times, went a bit mental. But anyway, this video is going to be a reaction to Usualmike's video. So if you haven't checked out Usualmike's channel, I suggest you do so. He's a nice Aussie guy and he reports on all the news of action figures in the Star Wars universe and whatever. And I just wanted to do a reaction to his video that he was saying about the Star Wars movie line, the line of 3.75-inch 5 POA figures that aren't going to be coming out this year for the Rise of Skywalker. Now, since his video, my good friend Only1 Kenobi has done a video on this as well, reacting to it. And I just wanted to give my 2 pence. So basically, the long and short of it is that I'm not actually overly bothered. Now, I know Mike was saying that he wanted like a movie line, etc. And yes, I would like a movie line. But if it is up to me, I'd have the movie line in the Vintage Collection. And the reason for that is because half the reason I collect the Vintage Collection is because of the card back. So I like to keep one set of figures carded and I like to keep one set of figures loose because I do like the loose figures. But if I'm going to have a loose figure, I'd prefer him to be super articulated so I can get him to some cool poses and put him in my display. Now, if we're just going to do a little comparison, so we'll just take Bosk out of the way and we'll just take Moloch out of the way. So here's 2 figures recently. So this one was obviously a re-release. This one came out originally in 2010. And this one recently, this year or last year, I think. This was part of the solo line of cards. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So this, to me, was a weird choice for a figure in this line. It's just 5 POA, and there's nothing wrong with the figure, actually. It's actually a pretty decent figure. The head sculpt's pretty nice. But if you said to me that they were going to get rid of all of this and put more of their concentration into this, then I would be well up for that, and I'd be completely happy with that. I do realise that these are slightly more expensive. They could potentially put all their efforts into these, mass produce these, and therefore bring the cost of these down slightly, so then they're affordable for the kids. But do kids even buy action figures these days? I mean, these figures are just on the pegs. £3.33 this one cost me in the Entertainer. Originally, I think they retailed at $9.99. And without being offensive to inbox collectors, because I know some people just buy figures for inbox collecting, I don't really see the point in buying this type of figure to keep in the box. So I would buy this figure and I would open it straight up. In fact, I will open it when I get space for my collection. But I wouldn't like have this hanging on the wall, you know, with lots and lots of different ones or whatever on display. I would much prefer to have the vintage style card with the racetrack design, a lovely image straight from the movie rather than an artist impression. And that's just my opinion on it, really. I mean, if they are going to do away with this to concentrate on more of this, then I'm absolutely all for it. So basically, just recapping, is that I think we've got maybe 2 or 3 different types of collectors. So you've got the inbox collector that's just an inbox collector and that's it, and all they want is inbox. And it's those kinds of people like Mike. No offense to Mike, he's, you know, that's how he wants to collect, and that's absolutely fine. But if I was an inbox collector only, I would be wanting this. This is how I'd want my inbox collection to look. I don't really see the point in collecting these in box. I think these are better off just being opened and having the figure, because as I said, the figure isn't actually too bad. Of course, you'd want it more super articulated if you're going to display it anyway. So, and then of course you've got people like me that want the best of both worlds. So they want a decent figure to display and they also want the lovely card back. And then of course you've got the third type of collector that don't care about the card back whatsoever. They just get the figure and open it up. And those kinds of people might be the parents that just want to buy a figure for their kid for their Christmas or birthday or whatever, and the kid, like I did when I was little, just rips it open and plays with the figure. And maybe that is where this comes in. So I just find it a bit weird or difficult to understand why collectors, adult collectors, are disappointed that these aren't going to be around. because if it means that we're going to get more of this, then I think everyone should be happy about it, basically. Of course, we've still got the Black Series line, so you've got the 6-inch collectors that are going to be more than happy because that line is going nowhere. You know, they're bringing out plenty of figures for those, and obviously they're great to display as well. Me personally, I'm a 3.75-inch collector. I do have the old Black Series figure because some of them are just too good to turn down. But in general, I like the 3.75, one on my wall and one loose. So I'll be interested to know what you guys think, obviously, in the comments section below. Hit that like button if you like this video. If you disagree with me, hit the dislike button as well. That would be absolutely fine. But let me know in the comments what you think, because if Hasbro are going down this route, I'm actually personally quite happy with the fact. And I think my good friend Only One Kenobi is happy with it as well, because ultimately we are massive fans of the vintage collection. This is what I collected as a kid, and them bringing these back on this sort of card back is exactly, as a collector, as an adult collector, this is what I want. This is kind of why I don't really like the Black Series that much, is because of that red and black box packaging. Again, it's very difficult to display if you're an in-box collector. A lot of people just have them on the sides with the numbers sticking out. Otherwise, you've got to have them facing front, and then they take up quite a lot of space. These are quite nice, obviously, because you can stick them on the wall by the hook, or stick them in a star case and then stick them on your wall. But just to sort of reinforce what I'm saying, you know, I want this. I don't want this. Children may want this, and from now on they're going to have to live with the 5-inch line of figures, which, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't personally think will last. I don't think there's going to be a huge market for it. I could be completely wrong, but I just don't see that line selling. I don't think the collector's going to be up for it. I probably won't be buying any of them. I might buy maybe Han Solo or Chewie or something, and then that is basically it. I'm certainly not going to be chasing the line and trying to get them all. I know they're not exactly the same figure. This is sort of like the Death Star escape Luke, and this is the Jedi Knight Luke from Jabba's palace and what have you. But essentially they're the same kind of thing. And, you know, just the difference there, you know. This guy's arms like this, head like this. So if you're a loose collector, surely you're going to want this. And if you're a carded collector, surely you're going to want this. Now, I understand that obviously these are cheaper, but as I said at the beginning of the video, if they could somehow knock these on the head completely, put all their efforts into these, produce more of them, and put them as a lower price point, and so they can just be on the shelves, the collectors are going to eat them up, obviously, on pre-orders and websites and whatever, and then the mums and dads or kids can stumble across them in the shops, and because they're only $9.99 or whatever, then they can snap those up as well instead of this. Anyway, that's just my rambling thoughts. I'm sorry if I've bored some of you, but that is just my thoughts. Mike, I loved reacting to your video, mate. You've got some valid points, of course, and everyone is different in the way that they like to collect. I just find it a bit weird, really, in my own mind, why people would be disappointed in losing this. It's just, especially if you're not going to open the figure, it's just, to me, it just, compared to this, there's just no contest at all. Alright, so thank you very much for watching, guys. That is just my 2 pence. As I said, please leave a comment in the comment section below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hopefully, middle of this week, I'm going to have a very, very cool review for you guys. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.